and we've not gotten answers. Yesterday was funny, the story we treated in the evening was funny. And I appreciate my able team that supports me to get stories. And our Wednesday on is changing now, or has changed now. The cause of the change is what you saw yesterday, the effect of upbringing of children. There are a lot of issues going on, and I think that we will not be able to finish our story this week. The story has just been hanging in there because my driver does a lot of wisdom nuggets in our conversation. I think because she has an experience in this field. I think she maybe one will ask her, is this a seventh marriage or something? When people are talking like this, it means that it means that maybe she has suffered a loss before. But I'll ask some questions and I'll go back to my topic. Who must manage your husband? Very important question. I welcome all of you to our conversation. Who must manage your husband? Yesterday, my driver made a statement that people are very angry in their head. Somebody asked me that, is she married? Is she married? These are the people who will not get men to come and marry them because she's against what we call parental petting. Because if she knows what is parental petting, it's a track. The track is trying to go inside. That's what is causing this minor traffic. So I welcome all of you. Nana Ma Ayirebi. Wow, good morning, Counselor. Welcome, my dear. Thank you very much for joining me. Can you please share the page for a friend, for a loved one, and for somebody who it's your first time today, like Nana Marinchua, this might be Nana Ayirebia. Nana Queer Ayirebi. Ayirebia. It's my first time meeting, but I'm happy to see. So we've been discussing who must manage a husband. The management of a husband. Should it be your mother as a wife? Should it be your husband's mother? Should it be friends? And yesterday a friend called me and said, when a wife wants sexual intercourse, he goes to tell a friend, say, Beman, meaning the about what do you mean that? About me come say baby. He said the first time when I know why, but I feel the AI he said, why? So he confronted the wife and asked the wife, why do you do this with my friends? Then he said, you told me when we got married that our matter can only be discussed by this your friend. So that's why I go to him. And the guy is pissed off. So he takes it like a joke, but the wife goes to report the sex life. Let me tell you, one of the things that no man want to hear about himself is when your fellow man is being asked by your wife to help, especially your sexuality. What did I say? Say me two way. Now me bear my need one. Now me either down for any abna chi watching birthday girl in town. Now me either go beside the say, Afro Tanti, thank you for coming. We go beside the say Charlie. To see how they make come bear my they could do only do be. So I go beside abna chi watching. What do you mean that I say? It's not like two women discussing the sexuality of their husbands. So hear the conversation well. Men are very upset when their wives are discussing with another woman's husband how to help their sexuality. I don't know if you get that picture I'm painting. if my wife is having a discussion with another friend's wife, I don't have a problem. But if my wife is having a discussion with our friend's husband on my sexual life, that I need Tonga Tali. Tonga Tali is there. It's a long time mentioning it to you. We are doing a new package because there's some expiration time that is going to hit us by the year 2024. So this June, we're waiting to do something Father's Day, but it won't happen. So all men start drinking Tonga Tali. And those of you who drink the tea, you love the tea. The tea is a nice one. The girls one is very nice. And I think my driver drank some one time. And she started buying, but her money was not working well. So she was using her driving fee to buy them. And it was not easy at all. But I would do. So I'm saying that men, and this is, you should learn it. I, as a man, I would not be happy to hear that my wife has gone to have a discussion with another family friend of ours, husband, asking what can be used for me to become sexually strong. But I know when it comes to women, yes. My software is talking. There's nothing you can do unless you finish talking. So let me caution all women. If your husband has any problem sexually and you want to help, nobody has sent you. But actually, you are not helping. You are helping yourself. If your husband's male organ is not working and you are seeking for help, is the help for your husband or for yourself? It's just by the way, because we'll go to our main conversation. Who manages the husband? And managing the husband involves all these. The total image is what we are calling for management. And somebody are going to use a certain statement that the word means parental petting. And is against the driver of the day. We'll come to her. But let me, I don't know your take on. Imagine I'm your husband and I'm failing in bed. And you want to go and ask for help on how. You go to another friend of ours, all right, and talk to the husband that I'm not doing well in bed. Any help? Do you know it pisses men off? If you talk to your fellow woman, about my sexual life, it doesn't piss me off like when you talk to their husband. But women think rather, if they feel when they go and talk to their fellow women, their fellow women will use against them one time. So uncle can't tell the yonku ba said me kunu be ma nyejuma. Or professor oba catch the yonku ba kunu say Charlie, muna moye mbema o. Say see ade kwaku be ma enko yi mami o. Enti yenya ne there. And I'm asking, when my penis is not working well, when my male organ is not functioning well, between me and you, when you are going to seek for help, are you seeking for help for me or for yourself? As a wife? Why the both is well?
More for myself.
So it is about you and not me. So on a scale of 0 to 10, when a woman is seeking for proper sexual orientation for the husband, like the bear man juma or kwakoya, or boa bear man na or person boa nam.
Bear man na boa ni.
Na bear man wa complaining.
Where they no complaining? Bear man he no mo complaining to mo yire num say bear man tin na bear man ye koi. Hami.
Say me hami.
How?
Because the betie bia ye dwin o.
No, e dey na mo dwin.
E twede nye salvation sa o.
Se be ma ni edwuma, mo ka twene ho asem bebre na ye mami enye edwuma dia no makama no atum.
Na se na den ye kwa kodi. Den ye di kwa kodi.
Enye edwuma mo di titin ye sa.
E ti se ne mo so mo pa abon se me enye edwuma.
Enye edwuma dia no makama no atum na mo si me kasa.
Na enye edwuma ho na ebre. Wo na abra na me na mebre.
At a stage in a marriage, the women, they don't care.
You don't care whether your male organ is working or not.
Yes. And at another stage, yes, when the body demands more sex, then they begin to, get worried.
So is it right to go and talk to my friend?
That one there is not right.
But somebody says there's nothing wrong with it. It's help we need.
You see, people don't understand this marriage cycle, marriage, this thing. If you need help in your marriage, the first point of call is your parents.
Asking you, the man or the woman?
Both.
Your own parents?
Yes.
They are the first point of call.
Yes. Go to your own parents and discuss with them. Open up.
So you go and tell your mother. You go and tell your mother that my penis is not working. If I'm married to you, you go and sit in front of your mother and tell your mother, Ma, I don't know what is going on now. My husband, when it comes to
my parents are my first counselors.
So you go and talk to them about my penis.
Yes.
Hey, so as I'm walking, your mother is watching me. Me ban bro, me back come and to be. Is that what you are talking about?
That is why I'll go first. I'll not go to my parents, and I'll not go to my friends, and I'll not go to any spiritual warlord.
You go to our pastor?
No. I'll go to my parents. Maybe by experience, they may have.
Your father has done the same thing before.
They may have encountered, and when it comes to Bibidro, they know better.
You know what a funny thing in my head. So you go and see your mother and tell your mother that they will say, oh, don't worry, it will come. Your father, your father. When we married, after I gave birth to you, look, it was close to 12 years. It didn't work. But I stayed. How many months now since your husband is not working? So about 3 months. Oh, my daughter.
Go and manage.
No, my daughter, don't do that. What I told you is the peninsula. You went to your mother, this is what your mother is saying. Or you go to your mother and says, you say what? Your husband is what? Hey, and how long has it been? Mommy, about 3 months. Why have you sat down for 3 months? 3 months. And what are you doing? Hey, you know what I'm going through? When your father's own started, I didn't do anything about it. As you are sitting here right now, ask him the last time he has because there's a problem already. So there's a problem linked already.
It's in the family.
Or you go and your mother says, my daughter, you say what? Hi, Jesus. Holy Ghost. It is repeating itself. Bring your hand. Every case that is following me, that is following my daughter, I declare that the husband's penis will not die like the father's own. Because your mother is experiencing the same thing with your father. But is this a sensible prayer?
No.
Because you are not married to your father. But this is a prayer point that will make your mother happy. You have another mother that when you go and report to them, they'll tell you, hey, I hope you've not told anybody. Say, no, man. Come on, the way I tell you. Yes. Don't let your father hear. And a very close daughter. You know, girls are not close to their mother. But if your mother opens up to you, you open up in a certain way. So your mother tells you that make sure your father doesn't hear this statement. Then you ask, Ma, why? It will not help him. Maybe he will be angry with your husband that your husband cannot fire you or something. But you know that your father, for about 13 years now, we're just staying like mothers. So your mother, for so many years, what does somebody talk to?
I'm not what she open up to.
So now that you have brought the kids,
and the two of you should go look for
so your mother will tell you, if you go and find them anything, buy two. I'm
I go find them.
Your mother will say, if you go and find a medicine, my daughter, back to her, ask them that anybody above 50 can they take it? Because your father's on 13 years. So as for the approach to such issues in marriage, I'm happy you're going to your mother, but the response from your mother will either cause you, and there's a mother that you go and say, and you are staying with him. Why? Leave.
No.
Oh, there's a mother like that. But I'm saying that when I hear that you're going to tell your mother my male organ is not working, I'll not be happy.
How will you get to know?
Oh, there are some mothers that they'll cast in situations. When you come and greet them,
but you'll be okay if I told my dad.
Boys. Depending on the way some men come to your house and they raise their shoulders in your family house. And there are times that your father is waiting for me to break my shoulders. The shoulders that are risen up, your father wants to break it. I am not, you are right. The best person to go and talk to truly is your family. But are you aware that you can discuss everything with your family, but you should be very skeptical when you're discussing sexual issues with your family when it comes to marriage? So my grandmother said something some years back, that when they are settling disputes and the confusion between you and your husband is about sex, discuss everything, eliminate it from the conversation. I didn't understand it. Till today, I don't understand it. After many years of practice. But everybody believes that is that not they say? So if you don't say, maybe and somebody too are going to speak to the mother about this thing, and the mother just gave him a Pontin Cotibia, and the mother just gave you a certain diet. You can also go and tell your mother about it. The mother will blame you.
Yes.
That's the type of food you cook for your husband is the reason why his male organ is not functioning.
Yes.
You should have time for your husband. You can go and tell the wife, are you sure? I'm not sure that you two are part of it. You don't stay in the house. Every time you are in church praying, every time I hear you say you have gone for convention, what is it? And as for men, when they don't have it regular, that's what happened. Remember when I left your husband, your mother, your father to Nigeria, and they will always want to use themselves for example. So I'm happy you go and tell your mother. Yes, but your mother should not be the type of woman who can come and confront me as a man. You see, the ego of a man should not be bruised.
But I know my mom, and if by certain circumstances I go to her and she comes back to me, there are some things I'll never take it back to her.
But you have already destroyed it already.
So this sex thing, maybe other examples may have come. I'll discuss with her and then she'll come and confront you. It means that there are certain vital ones that I can never go to her with it.
So this is my wisdom in my life of practice. Go to your parents, but when you go and you want to narrate, can you use an episode or a scenario, not knowing the reaction of your mom?
Or requesting for a friend.
Yes, mommy, my sister, a friend in the office is telling me something, and I don't know who to talk to. That the husband for 3 months now, the male organ is not erected, and she's asking me, I don't know what to do. Because me, I've never even seen my husband taking any medicine before. And you know these things, you can't talk to your husband about it, they will think otherwise. And your mother will go like, But if you have a very stupid mother, she will just ask you, where's your friend? Let her call me. I think aloud. I think too much. Somebody say, my mind is 50 years ahead of everybody. But you see, it's likely that's what happened. But I'm saying that the ego that we have, be careful you don't bruise it. And you don't care bruising it. That's my problem with you wives. Wives don't care bruising the ego. of a husband. Look, they don't care. And someone will come and say, now, why are you boawa? Hey, kwaku trasi. Now you are me boawa. Or there are times that the wife will go to a point that they will discuss with everybody, and they have to call you. And why did you say you won't go to my pastor? If I'm your husband, why would you go to my pastor? Don't you think it might be spiritual attack? You go to my husband, you go to my pastor.
Never. No one gets out.
Why? So a friend of mine is having a problem, and he's still a husband, and a young lady is claiming that the husband has impregnated her, and they didn't take the case anywhere. They took the case to his pastor, to the church. He's not an elder, he's not a deacon, but he's a chairperson for a lot of committees because of his position and his influence. So he has become like Charlie. What he believes that people call him deacon, but he's not just me. And when they took the case to the pastor also called the wife. You think the pastor is sensible? So the pastor has now called the wife already, and has not called the husband yet. And the wife, yes.
What is the meaning of that?
His children call pastors. So the wife called me and said, "This is what has happened." And the pastor has called her, talked to her that she should be patient. Whatever happens.
This is very childish.
But the pastor's mind is that the man looks untouchable in the church.
What is untouchable? Is the financier or
and the painful part is that if the wife hears it, the wife will react. According to this, the pastor says that she's the one that she can manage. So he's coming to manage it before they call the husband.
It's a wrong approach. Call the man first.
But is it right for the people to go to the church?
So they have made a mistake in coming to the church. Because if a man impregnates you, you go to the family. You don't come to the church.
But they are in the church.
Church, why?
Because they see your husband is being used every time.
Oh, no. You that you are sleeping around with a man, you don't know his family. You don't know his family house.
They know
when they impregnate young girls, where do they take the girls?
But it's the church that will discipline you.
That church discipline, you have to stop those things.
Like this sheriff. Was the man was an elder in Pentecost church?
It's not Pentecost.
What is that person? It was one
Baptist.
Of the churches. Is it Baptist?
Yes.
We had a lot of issues that the church came into the existence and they involved themselves in this act.
They should have distanced themselves. They came to involve themselves.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying, that you see, the management of a husband is the problem we're having now. All these things are part of the issues. So if you have a problem with your husband, like you just told us, who do you go to? You are saying you go to your family.
Yeah.
And your family, depend if it's sexual, you go to your mother. So if it's about rent, payment, and other things, will you still go to your mother?
Yes. I'm going to my parents.
But you speak to your mother, to your father?
Yes. Both of them.
So the chain of command is mother to father?
Yes.
So you speak to your mother first?
Yes.
And that is what we don't know. Are you aware? This is another thing we don't know. It's one of the mistakes we don't know. Are you aware when you go to your mother and father, the first person you should talk to should be your mother? And there are times your mother will tell you, this one, don't tell your father. So never go and have a meeting and say, Dad and Mom, I came to see you. If you bring any marital issue, all right, don't request for Dad and Mom. Go and see your mother. And your mother will see if it's necessary. And if your mother is immature, that's why he quickly want to go. No, but the best thing is involve your mother first. Because there are issues that mothers can solve without fathers. The reason is that the man is the last authority. You understand?
Yeah.
So if you make
Him a commoner.
So in the management, when the body's out, so it's your mother. So you see that the role of a mother is so paramount in the life of every human being. Now, in that vein, then when people are saying that, is it wrong for your mother to manage your husband? They are right. There is nothing wrong when your mother is managing. So why do you say they are sick?
You
Parental petting.
no, if the petting you are allow it, but managing no.
No, you allow for petting. And
Yes.
petting is part of the management. This clock is nice. You didn't get it anywhere. I saw it yesterday. But someone could be some years for pair.
Yeah, insisting Ghana.
War clock. Ose. When I got 360 naira. Oh, but my better there. Oh, can't watch it. We are Jimmy for pa. Uba blesses ah. Uba bread nam te you also say watch out on na Jimmy Sagwasia. Abu watching send your ton. Catch your one ton watch and say. My friend, catch us and Crawford to idea. I mean, I'm a bomb. Mamma scan of the toddy or crown. Now, what we say, watch it, say, because a 350 make can watch it. Shall Jimmy be foolish boy? Call out for make I sort out. I be mumu, eh? I get sickness. They say he has sickness. Is he a Nigerian man? Is he a Nigerian man? When we're talking about Nigerians and comparing Nigerians to Ghanaians, we say, you see that Nigerian man? You say he be Namumu. It was just passing jokes. Now maybe somebody is a metal now, 350. You have only a wall clock. Sell at 350. Now I'm saying, hey, now wall clock in a ton 350 now. Now then I'll be tired. You see. That's why he's in those marks. He will suffer on the sun like that. He will grow and become a foolish husband. You see. Because of lack of parental petting. So I'm back on my conversation. You say you allow parental petting.
Yes.
But parental petting is part of the management.
You see, I see management as a very big word.
Okay.
That is going to affect my level of...
Somebody has said a message we didn't see on TikTok. Somebody's asking a question. Sorry, we are not reading. Good morning, long time Canada. Says who? I don't get it. Is it because when it is not working, they will go for another person? Is that what I'm going to Maybe it's not working. What are they going to use it for? I go tell you. This one say, what about if the lady's own is not good too? What will you do too? So if your wife's own is not working, you don't understand.
Your vagina is not working.
Is it likely to work?
I've never seen
yes. Yeah. It's true. It doesn't work.
Doesn't work. In what way?
When they lose their libido.
But that one, they are artificial support. Yes.
Which is what? You know some of them. I'm going to talk to your mother.
Even though it's low, desire is not there.
Yes. You know, Vic,
You can
Vic,
bump it.
you know that Victoria came the last time we were having a show. I don't know if you're watching. She said, Tuesday, he said, hey, Counselor, please, can you help me? I said, if you are from 30 years, if you don't have, if your husband doesn't have sex after 40, he gets a lot of sickness. He says, oh, then she's asking that, is there any medicine that can sustain her libido the way it is now? Because this game of helping the husband not to be sick, she needs a high libido. And the way the libido is now is okay. She wants something to support it not to fall.
That one, the dieting can help.
Dieting help libido?
To maintain it, yes.
Like food like what?
Food, yes.
Like contomere stew and yam or something? Because in Ghana, if you don't eat banku, what will you eat? Fufu, if you don't eat, what will you eat? Rice. So which one? So what are you talking about? Which one gives? Because women are watching. Are you people interested in what diet keeps the libido? No, if you are interested, it's just it's part of the thing you go to your wedding and go and talk. Somebody else, we didn't see it. So you have the medicine. I think next week I should give you the opportunity to help to enhance your libido. It will be a good topic for you, so you can bring all your medicine out.
Yes.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, there's a topic that the driver wants to teach you. See, the notness, they are good though. You know why my driver is now, and they are good in herbs and tea. She's telling us that she has recipe. Is it recipe? Yes, I'm not getting. You know, you are a nutritionist.
Yes.
Yeah. She's a nutritionist. Yeah. Hey, you know that you are the first person that I saw a call card called nutritionist. What nutritionist? I didn't know it's a title. You know that Wago fruit business you started? Hey. Okay, so we would have, but does it include fruits?
Yes.
What type of fruit? Just give us 2 fruits that this weekend people can chew to enhance their libido.
They should get ready for it.
Okay, so next week you're going to teach them.
Yes.
So ladies and gentlemen, next week Tuesday, is it likely? Next week Tuesday is what date? Yes.
26.
So 36 is likely we might have it early. Yes, we'll do it. 26 Accra Street. So you have how to enhance your libido conversation coming up from the driver of the year. Okay, so but let's continue the conversation. So you are going to say something about the petting. You are saying that you are not against parental petting.
Yes.
But you are against parental management.
Yes, like yeah.
No, but why are you not happy your mother is managing your husband for you?
It's going to affect my level of involvement in the marriage.
How?
Because as I said yesterday, the petting could be as a result of age difference and age bracket.
What you say is sickness.
If there's no age difference, there's no age bracket, then the level of involvement will be low. So I will allow for some small management. But if at the end of this conversation, you discover that the age difference between you and your mom is close, and that is what is causing and the petting, and as it's resulting in management, then we have to relook at it, because I don't want your viewers to become hurt.
Why?
By saying that, then concluding that
the man is sick. After a sickness, you explained to us yesterday. You tried to break it down for us to know why you think the man is sick.
Yes.
So when a man is seeking for support from your mother, it's as a result of something that he's lacking.
Yes.
And once you are lacking something, it's a sign of sickness.
Yes.
It's a deficiency.
Yes.
So he didn't have a mother figure and want to use your mother as a mother figure. You think it's sickness. So if everybody is sick, when you are sick, what do you go for? Medicine. So is it wrong to use your mother as my medicine?
Where is the mother that the family recommended for him?
She's a witch. Oh. When I was going to marry you, the thing she said, hey, I could have not even married you at all. See?
You know, they say that there's a statement that if you can't beat them,
join them.
So we all fall sick. I will allow it, then we all fall sick.
So let me tell you something, guys. My mother is not watching. and my grandmom is dead. So let me say this statement. And I don't know, my father would never watch. Unless they category give to my father. So my mother, you know, my dad lost the mother and was given to my late grandmother. And so because he has lost the dad and lost the mom, there's a way they treat my dad. So before we're young, my mother growing up, my mother told me that something that my grandmother does that she doesn't like is that when they go to my grandmother, as old as my father is, who has married her, my grandmother would just start, ale, papa, oh, mbio. They will carry my father on her laps and would just be playing with my father at that old age, an estate officer of a whole company. And my mother would just be standing. When they get to the house, that's the first thing my grandmother would do. And she just standing. And after like 10-15 minutes, oh, I will like, Casio. Then they'll give you a chair to sit down. Not that and she was worried. So when mother said it, I didn't see anything like say normal. I mean, like me, I go to my mother and mother will carry me. My mother was worried about it. And I think anybody she tells, they say, well, because your husband lost the father, because my father's mother died when the father died when my father was 6 months. And the mother too died when my father was 8 months. So as for my father, the mother and father has made my father is sincerely sick.
Yes, seriously.
Thank you for telling my father. My father, listen to the driver says you are sick.
But the way your grandmom was treating your dad, she could have felt all those emotions.
But my mother was angry. My mother was pissed off.
This one is not from my mom, it's from his side.
And when they
shouldn't be pissed.
Anytime my mother goes,
oh no.
It was bad to the extent my mother reported to me.
But will your mom be okay if her mom is doing that to your house?
I wish I would answer this question because you are now bringing my mind on the sickness. You see? And can you imagine that? My mother was so pissed off that at my age, you know, my grandmother lived, and you know, my grandmother was doing it at a very old age. Oh.
And your dad was enjoying it.
Because he is sick.
Love it.
Yes. Because he is sick.
What is wrong with that one?
And I thought that so. There was a conversation I had with my dad in a certain way. And you know what my dad said? I wanted my dad to know that my mom is against what my grandmother did because I witnessed it. And you know, my mother told me, my dad said, my grandmother is now too old. When she asks you come and sit and you know, she would think otherwise. So my dad too was doing it in a way just to make my grandma happy. And my mom was against it. Look at the funny twist. I didn't even connect it, right? I'm connected it. So you know my mother's mother. My mother's mother came to live with us. And she was old. And where she was sleeping, the first room was where she sleeps. And the second room is where I sleep. Every afternoon, I don't lock my door when I go to work. My grandmom will leave her room and come and lie on my bed. When they ask her why, he says there's so much peace in my bed. And I don't know if I told you this before. When they give my grandmother food, and she will ask, like if my grandson has not come, I won't eat. So they will force me to go so that when I go do what she does, all the meat they give her, she'll give me the meat to chew. So my mother thinks she's chewing the meat too. But unfortunately, she gives me the meat. The day I'm not there, she will wrap the meat. But they don't know that the 1 year, they don't see the red. The day I don't go, I'm not there. My grandmother will tie the meat, you know, like the way they tie coins at the mouth of her cloth, waiting for me to come and she'll give it. So she was getting more nutrition. Is that what they call it? Because she was not chewing the meat. So I'm not connecting the two. And you know what my grandmother would do? My grandmother will call me back. And when I go, you know what she does? She has cloth. And the cloth is inside the things. You get who are they can bring this one in Holland? Give her shit. Then she will give me. So she will give me get to come and abadebo. So my grandmother was also trying to make me sick. I don't know. But you see, when my father was going through that one, my mother was sick. And when my grandmother didn't see that what he was doing, my mother was against it. But when my grandmother starts, then my mother will sit down well. They will call me Casti. As if to say, come and see what your grandmother is doing. I know very much that my mother could have even prayed against my grandmother in church. Any spirit of taking my husband from me. Because my mother did it to the extent that my father saw. Because she made a statement one time that we are going to my grandmother's place. He says there's nothing we are going to do there. You want to go and sit on her laps at your age. And it brought confusion. I remember this thing. They quarreled because of what my mother said. And truly speaking, what my mother said was a loose talk. But she was speaking from head.
Yes.
But that's what I said that women should, you see, managing a husband, you should know when to speak, how to speak, who you are speaking, when to speak, what you are saying, and why you are saying what you are saying. These things, don't lose it as a wife. So my father is sick. And the medicine was my grandmother. But see the reaction of my mother. And it was too much to the extent that when we are supposed to go to my grandmother's place, then my father makes it and we are happy. You know, with the children, we are happy to go to grandma. Because it's like, it's the whole travel from Medina to was a fun thing. And when we go to that place, grandmother was in Yayene, you know that we were happy. And especially when those days my grandmother was in Osu and we are in Medina. Do you know one good thing about beans, yokegari?
Yes.
The way they will fix it in the leaf,
Yes.
and the plantain will come out. In our house, my mother will never go and buy you red yokegari. She will cook it. And the way my mother cooks it is so well done that it doesn't match the saliva one in the market. You know, so anytime we are going to my grandma, with me, especially me, the older one, my children were my siblings were young. I'm happy we are going to grandma because of these things. But you see, my mother was angry. And one day she burst out and told my father that going to grandma for you is not because of us, but you want to go and sit on the laps of your mother at your age. It's an insult, you know that. It's an insult. But your current generation would think that she was expressing her rights. And you are telling me that it is at times in marriage you are supposed to do what? Hide. Is that what you said? Do you say hide? No, you say you don't hide, but you do what?
We close our mouth and our nose. We hold in.
But who says I want to marry a dead person? When your nose is closed, how do you smell things that are going to disturb you?
I don't close it all the time.
So why are you closing
When
your
the
nose?
thing that is smelling is coming, it's smelling, and you can't take it, what do?
You should master it
Master it.
by smelling it.
Hey, I will die.
No, but when you die, who is dead?
So you want me to die so that you marry another woman?
No, you see, your mind is anytime you are dying, you are thinking of who I will marry.
But when I die, won't you marry?
No, why would you think when you die, me too, I will die? Anytime a woman is thinking of something, she thinks when I die, then another person will come. Why do you always think after you are no more there, another person is coming? What is it? Oh, this marriage thing. Do you have an advice for us?
Marriage is marrying us.
Do you have any advice for
It's
us?
so easy.
My auntie told me something that marriage is like bread. You see, those days, not this current time. You know those days. You know the funnel,
Yes.
the oven, the one they do with their hand.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a long time going to a bakery, but it says that
There.
it's still there. Okay, so it says marriage is like bread that has been molded, or like a bakery. He said marriage is like a bakery. If somebody say it's true, which one is true? Is it what the rabbi is saying? So he said marriage is like a bakery. The bread that you have molded with yeast in it, if it takes too long, it will overbloat. I don't know if that's the right word. The yeast you use it for bloating. So there's time before you have to, and it shouldn't overbloat before you put in the oven, according to the bakers. I did small home econs, but it's not to your level as a nutritionist. So he says that marriage is like a bakery. When you mold the bread and put the yeast inside, there is a particular time that is supposed to go back into the oven. If it delays, it will bloat outside. When it bloat outside and you bake, it will be okay, but either about flat, it will not be nice wholesome. Now, the same way, the one in the oven, if you allow it to stay too long, it will burn.
Yeah.
So that is how marriage is. I say, I don't understand. They say, watch it. Those who are in the oven, they want, it's time for them to be removed out of the oven. And those who are outside, because of the yeast, they are bloating and they want to go back into the oven.
Yeah.
So as you are speaking right now, that this marriage is marrying us, they are young girls, they are young boys who this weekend they are bloating and they want to enter into the oven. You people too who have gone 3 times, 4 times marriages, you want to come out of the oven because they don't remove you, you will burn. This thing she told me long time ago, I've not forgotten. And I met a lecturer of mine who too said it's like the public transport, especially the Toyota history that we're doing in Ghana. Whilst you are complaining about somebody, you are getting down at the junction, somebody is rushing to go and sit on the chair. This is the scenarios they gave me that marriage is like. But in all of them, we are still asking, who must manage the husband? I think that one answer, because tomorrow is likely you will not get me, because I will not have a driver tomorrow. Listen, the first answer is the management of a husband must be taken from 3 dimensions. And now that baby Gladys, my driver has made it clear to all of us. It's funny, yeah? It's funny. And the fun is that you just discovered that most of us are sick. So me, I think my wife should be complaining by now. The way I am with my mother, that I'm sick. Does it mean that you should marry people whose mothers are dead or something?
Oh no.
Because people want to marry men whose mothers are dead. I had a show that women
that they will have peace of mind.
Yes, because their mother-in-laws. Yes.
Because if your mom is dead, it depends on the time she died. She died at a very young age. That's when you fall sick.
So I mean, this is a case that your mother you never had time to drink the breast milk of your mother. So that means you are sick. Me, I think I have to go and tell my father he's sick.
He will not understand.
And my mother should understand. So it means that my mother should have understood that my father was sick.
Yes.
But you know, my father told me that if you don't allow my grandmother to, if he doesn't go and sit on my grandmother's lap.
And this thing too, you can't tell your grandmother this sickness. You can't describe it to your grandmother. She will never understand. She will not accept what you are saying. What she wants to do is what she will do.
I am not. So
you don't take such kind of discussions to them.
But you know that my father's cousins, all right, they are his cousins because they are not his father's children. We're not happy with what my grandmother was doing.
But they're sitting on the lap.
Yes. I am now recollecting that one of my auntie who is now in the UK made a statement to me. Hey, you have brought a lot of thinking in my head. Oh. She was close to my mom. She was one of the friends of my mom. not friends, but like she's the only one who can get to my mother. And now I'm understanding that the anger of my mother was coming from my auntie. Hey, this sickness you are talking about, I'm going to research. So if your husband is close to the mother, it's sickness.
To the mother-in-law. Too close.
So if he's close,
he's petting, that's fine.
No, why is telling you his petting is fine?
Petting to feel your emotional tank. That's
so
fine.
Petting is part of the management, though.
I see management as a bigger word than petting.
No,
petting is inside the management.
Yes.
Yes. So if you can pet, but don't move to management. When you move to management, you've crossed the line.
Oh, you are confusing me, because within the scope of management,
yes,
petting is in. And when you are petted, or when you go through the petting, your management becomes solid.
Petting is under the management.
It's in the management.
It's in the management.
Yes.
So pet.
Then
don't go for the entire management.
Oh no, but this is not fair. This is not fair.
I will allow for petting.
No, you are not being fair.
But not management.
No, you are not being fair.
Allow for petting.
No, you are not being fair. Because the reason why I'm petting is because I'm sick and I want to cure myself. Well, yesterday you were telling us that, one of my petting is that my wife's mother's groundnut soup is special. That she does the groundnut soup, and when you are drinking, you have sweetness in it, as if there's sugar. My wife's own, when she does it, there's no sugar, but you can't see. And anytime I eat my wife's groundnut soup, I run like somebody's chasing me. So I asked for my wife's mother's groundnut soup, and you say no.
Did I say no?
You say it will not continue. It is at your discretion.
Yes.
Why?
It's at my discretion. I am the one in the marriage, not my mother.
So if your mother is there, your mother says, your husband just send me money for groundnut soup, what will you do? You say don't cook. I will momo your mother. If I will just momo my wife's mother and say, Ma, everything.
If we are in a good marriage, and you want my mother to cook for you, tell me. You don't go straight.
I like your writing on it's official. What's something official? He says what? I love the way you think, and you are right. The excuses are sometimes too much. Thank you. I mean, counselor. And which of the excuses? Because Charlie, we have discussed a lot of things. We are not discussing. Is there excuses about when the women are? We discuss a lot of things. But I'm saying, management of your husband, should it be your mother as a mother-in-law? Because somebody went to report, the funny thing, somebody went to report the husband to her mother. No, a woman on any city, so it was with the mother-in-law. And the mother-in-law was talking about the son. And then she contributed. Are you aware that her contribution is what destroyed her marriage today? The marriage is collapsed.
Also the contribution.
So like my mother is talking about me and my wife. Imagine you are my wife and my mother is talking about me. And the things my mother is saying about me, they are not negative things. Then you come and say the negative one about me. And my mother took offense, but I didn't know she was taking offense. So for example, we were pounding fufu. And my mother goes like, oh, as for my son, I didn't like fufu, but the way he's always available to pound for me, that is how come I developed the interest in fufu. So ever since he got married and he left, fufu has not been something with me. As my son, it's only God. I don't even think he will be a bad person to anybody in this world. I go like, my marriage can destroy people. This is what the lady said. Marriage can destroy people. See all the nice things they're saying about George. I don't know, ever since he got married, I've never even seen him touching a piston before to even come and pound. If you talk about Fufu right now, welcome, Sir K. He will say something that like man. If this is what you're saying about him, then I need to call him and talk to him. He doesn't do anything in the household. Even today when I came, I was going to ask you if you can get me some young girl from the village to come and support them because I'm getting tired. He'll move his shoe, and where he left the shoe, that's where the shoe will be. All of a sudden, he said the mother-in-law kept quiet. He was not talking. He was listening to the complaints. The only thing the mother-in-law replied and said, this is not how my son was. If he has become like this, it is a marriage that has made him. You have destroyed him.
So we should leave you.
And the mother told the son, I watch your wife. If she can tell me these things, she can go and tell friends and the mother. That's where the confusion is. Now, the management of your husband, I'm saying that you have not seen it. I say, who must manage a husband? And I was giving you the scenario that there are 3 things if you want to manage a husband. The first one, see if you are married to a man or a boy. I'll leave it there. And that's what we're going to discuss. I'll have an hour. I've done 56 minutes. I want to do 2 hours. It's a long time I did a broadcast. I have to do a lot of cutting and do a broadcast. It's a long time. That's people think that we don't see you, we don't hear from you. I understand. I saw something I wanted to read. Let me go read it for you. Is it the part where you said you must master by smelling and not shutting your nose or mouth? Oh, okay, that's what I say is true. Okay, so that's what he says. Official. What's the name?
Master
Official.
Smell.
Yes. You are saying that you don't smell. I'm saying that the best is to master and smell it. You know what we smell about you? We marry women and there are problems we are supposed to ignore, but we smell about them. I was sharing yesterday on a show that you go to a place with your wife and her mood swings will come. She's on the table. What will you drink? Nothing. Or you go with a man. What will you drink? Nothing. What will you eat? Nothing. Then she leaves the program and go and say that you buy our machine.
You see, if I'm smelling about you, I'll manage. But there's a 3rd party, 4th party, 5th party.
Smell.
You smell.
Yes.
Yo.
That is what makes the marriage. Ignoring or refusing to smell doesn't help. So my grandmother told my mother something. That's my father's mother. My mother was complaining. And he told my mother, look, learn to eat the food that a woman brings to your husband's office. My father was the type that a lot of women would like to cook for him. They'll give him gifts, material, trouser material, shoes.
Yeah, finally come for my bag.
Shoes, belt, everything. And my mother was worried.
Yesterday, you didn't tell me you'll be going to
unfortunately for us, to the extent that there are times that I've seen one before. My mother, they gave my father Nanny Flo. You know Nanny Flo? Pig feet. One of the ladies, they say she's from Mokola. They sell pig feet. So she did the stew, heavy. And my father brought it. When they came to the car and they brought it out, no, my mother said, where from this one? I said, okay, thank you. They're angry. Pour the food out. My grandma was in the house. You know what grandma did? They went to collect all the pig feet from the floor. Collected all. Natahila. Like a faith logo. My grandmom collected all the meat out of that stew. told my mother that she should never do this again. The fact that another woman has cooked food for your husband doesn't make you vulnerable that you can't feed your husband. It will reduce the cost in the house. So if somebody has brought food to your husband, why would you be angry and throw the food away? So I was learning from a lot of lessons. You know what my mother said, what my grandmother said earlier on. My mother didn't connect to it. But fast forward many years down the line, my mother began to enjoy what my grandmother said. She started smelling it. She smelled it to the extent that her uniform, my mother was wearing a certain uniform. She doesn't get a uniform. You can only get it from Ivory Coast. One of the lovers of my father bought it like this as a gift to my father. And that's what my mother was sewing and wearing. Cloth. My father doesn't use cloth. Does she use cloth? No. They will come and give him cloth in the office. Full piece. 12 years. And all of them when they bring my mother. So my mother actually was enjoying what we were bringing to my father because now she has learned how to do what? Smell. So there are times that if you close your nose, you will make her suffer because they have come to give me the thing. When I bring it home, you will throw it away. You will query me. So where do I keep it? I rather keep it in the office or give it out. I never want to see it. Not over my dead body. Who will kill you and bring it? So it's true what the guy say. Let's learn to smell. And it's not just women. Men too must learn to smell. Husbands, learn to smell. I'm telling you, learn to smell. Because you see, to manage a husband, I say the first thing is check if you are marrying a man or a boy. And like yesterday, you made a statement. And you said, I will not marry. You said a guy who is mommy's boy, you will not marry. You remember you said that thing. But who is a mommy's boy?
A boy.
Who is a mommy's boy?
Mommy's boy is a boy.
How?
I
hope you have sons.
Yes.
Between your daughters and sons who are very close to you.
The boys.
When you close for work and you go home, your daughter and your sons, who come to meet you first?
The boys.
Why?
I don't know.
So you see, I made a statement that must learn how to smell. Agosi says that is the statement of the week. Learn how to smell. Don't hold your nose. Thank you, Agosi. So watch it. From your own small experience, your sons welcome you back from work and not your daughter. No matter the age. And when your sons come to you, giddy, are you aware that unfortunately you will still scream and call your daughter to come and collect the things from the car?
Yes.
So the boys who came to you, even though they might have the capacity to carry the thing, you are worried why your daughter didn't come to collect the things from the car and the boys came. So who is a mommy's boy? And who makes mommy's boys? I made a statement in the morning that when you meet your husband and he's not behaving like a man in your life, check what the mother did. And if you are complaining about what the mother has done to your husband, check what you are doing to your sons today. Are you not raising the same mommy's boy? I got to the time that my mother, if you see any photo of my mother, you see me. All my mother's growing up pictures, I was in it. One of my mother's cousins, till today, will still cook for me. Oh yes. When I took my doctorate, you saw what my sister did. It's a ritual. She just brought me food, cooked food. Imagine the husband who doesn't understand. Why are you going to cook for your mother who has a wife? Have you asked permission from my wife? I don't think my wife was not even aware my sister was bringing food. But in some state of managing a husband, the wife would demand that when you want to bring my husband food, ask me first. Yeah, I'm telling you, in the management of a husband. But my sister felt like I went to take a doctorate and we didn't have the opportunity to celebrate together. They were supposed to follow me with food because when I took my first diploma, they all cook food and they went, and when they came, they said my thesis was not fully marked. That thing is a big blow. 2000 when I graduated, because one paper, one sheet, not a paper, sheet. The one doing the proof really didn't sign on it. And my principal refused my graduation, even though I rented the ground and everything. So you see, like, I'm just giving a practical example. My sister brought me bamboo with chicken and fish stew as part of the celebration. If I have a wife who is against these things, you know what's going to happen? I'll keep quiet and tell my sister, don't say it. Or my sisters will not be able to bring these things to my house because they have to call my wife and ask my wife, want to do gravy and bamboo for your husband? Please, can we do it for him? You think it's the right thing to do?
It's not necessary.
So when you hear a wife is fighting a sister for bringing stew, would you be against that one too? So what if my sister will not bring the food, but will connect a certain lady to cook the food and bring to me?
Is the lady in the family?
No, she's not in the family.
No one here.
You fight the person if you are my wife.
How your sister?
She didn't have time and she wanted the food cooked.
That's okay.
No, but do you have to go and interrogate her? Why did you allow this person to cook?
I don't know her. And even what comes to your office, I don't have to be nosy about it. I'm not there. It's your office. What comes there is happy. I don't have to be nosing about all of them.
Don't try some people.
Oh, it's not necessary.
So what if your husband takes some of the food from the office and bring it to the house? Will you eat some?
I'll eat.
Where is the food coming from?
Maybe if I'm coming to the office to do something and I chance on the lady, I may ask her, who is this?
You ask the lady or you ask your husband?
I'll ask my husband.
Who is this? And he doesn't mind you?
I'll drop it there.
Will you feel bad?
No. I'll not feel bad.
So somebody went to somebody's office, went to the husband's office and saw a certain lady there. And look at the husband and say, you're suffering. And the husband didn't understand. 5 years down the line, then he comes back to tell the husband why I said you are suffering. You meet such beautiful women every time in the office, and you still come back home. Thank you for marrying me. You see the woman's mind. She saw the type of women that the husband handles every day in his project work. The husband is a project officer. And he just said, thank you to the husband for marrying me. How many women will get to that level in their pride to appreciate the fact that you still have opportunity to meet beautiful women, but you still marry me? The management of a husband is not a joke. The first thing is check if you're not marrying a boy. And as I said, most of you are also raising mommy's boy. But it is on record that in today's conversation, my driver has made it clear that she will go for petting, but not money. You allow petting, but you disagree with money. We shall see.
What will come out? What will come back?
Go back and read their statements. They are against your insult. Yeah, it's an insult. You are insulting them. How do you tell them that they are sick?
I'm sorry.
Who are you apologizing to? Sure. I'm happy. Because I didn't know my father was sick until this morning.
He's sick.
Yeah. This work, So how do you manage your husband? Can I read your comment on how to manage your husband? How do you manage your husband? How? And I asked earlier, should the wife be the manager of the husband? Should it be? Should it be? I'm only asking questions. But I realize that we are battling with a lot of issues which can easily be solved. And for me, this school I have gone to, this my education, I want it to affect people positively. I think that I think that if we don't leave any legacy at all for our children, like a physical property, we should be able to live them with the best state of mind to be a good wife and a good husband. The long literature here I like to read from a course. Communicate. Communication saves. Or communicate safe. Communicate safe. Okay. Get to the root of the problem. Understand partners, personality. Pick your battle wisely. Wow. They are one after the other. Let me read from. I have a lot of gadgets. Let me read from one of these gadgets. Sorry, I want to read from my gadgets. The volume of the step is trying to. The phone is not good, so I'm trying to. When I go to volume, it goes to Google volume. So if you want to buy a new phone, so let me try and read this one. Thank you very much, Harriet. Harriet Addington. So Mrs. Clay. Harriet Addington. Harriet. Is it Mrs. Clay? I don't know if she's changed her name. Okay, so let me go and read this long literature. Okay. So it says communicate, safe. I think it's one word. Communicate safe. Okay. Next one. Get to the root of the problem. Okay. Next one. Understand your partner's personality. Good. Next one. Pick your battles wisely. Good. Accept your spouse for who they are. Okay. The next one is ask, don't interpret or assume things. Good. He said, give each other space. Wow. Find a middle ground. So this is statement Marcos, and each of the statement that Marcos is professing, or each of the statement that Marcos have written, must be interrogated vividly. We have to investigate or interrogate this comment. Those of you on TikTok, if she's on TikTok, I could have allowed her to come and, post it on TikTok. But she's not on TikTok, so she can post it on TikTok. Yeah, she's not on TikTok. She's not on TikTok. But I think she has written. They are good things. What we need to do is to find Ali, ready ba? Now we are getting by. Oh, very busy. Oh, very busy. Everything I do, I'll tell you. My wife will come for a car. Yes. I've enjoyed the car. They have to come and wash it so that she enjoy it. I'll use my most expensive car in the world. My car is nice. I've seen it back like that. It's nice. Go and give the car to her, whatever it is. So I like the things she has written. I wish I can copy them and interrogate them each by each. Is it communicate safe? How do you communicate safe? Safe. Is it safe? Is it true? I'm confused. I goes help me. Is it communicate safe? As in SAFE. I see savior like salvation. Yeah, I see salvation. I will want to quickly ask your permission to do a change quickly. So you give me, we'll come back with a course conversation in managing a husband, just for commercial break, and we'll come back quickly. We'll come back quickly. It's possible, all right? We'll come back. We'll come back. We'll come back because the managing a husband is why Akos are printing this literature for us.
Yare yo, yare yes. Obi benya one fi yare. Yamfa yare nso nya nipa. Sichire yare ni no. Sickness can determine the last straw of your life. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and loved ones, supporters of our foundation, the CL Foundation for Health, Diabetes and Asthma and Cerebral Palsy. We are knocking at your doors, knocking at your pocket, knocking at your emotions. Support me and my team to support people living with diabetes, asthma and cerebral palsy. Your donations are welcome on 862-215-2007. Your Zelle 862-215-2007. MTN Ghana numbers 055 000 5077 055 000 5077. It is the MTN number. CL Foundation for Health and Support. Help us with the diabetes equipment, glucometers.
Click on a different advert. Sorry. Commercial breakers has brought the confusion.
Yare yo, yare yes. Obi benya wana fi yare. Yamfa yare nso nya nipa. Sichire yare ni no. Sickness can determine the last straw of your life. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and loved ones, supporters of our foundation, the CL Foundation for Health, Diabetes and Asthma and Cerebral Palsy, we are knocking at your doors, knocking at your pocket, knocking at your emotions. Support me and my team to support people living with diabetes, asthma and cerebral palsy. Your donations are welcome on 862-215-2007. Your Zelle 862-215-2007. MTN Ghana numbers 055 000 5077 055 000 5077. It is the MTN number. CL Foundation for Health and Support. Help us with the diabetes equipment, glucometers, wheelchairs, old clothing, new clothing, financial support, and let's give it to the needy. Thank you for your support. Yare yo, yare yes. Obi benya wana fi yare. Yamfa yare nso nya nipa. Sichire yare ni no. Sickness can determine the last straw of your life. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and loved ones, supporters of our foundation, the CL Foundation for Health, Diabetes and Asthma and Cerebral Palsy, we are knocking at your doors, knocking at your pocket, knocking at your emotions. Support me and my team to support people living with diabetes, asthma and cerebral palsy. Your donations are welcome on 862-215-2007. Your Zelle 862-215-2007. MTN Ghana numbers 055 000 5077 055 000 5077. It is the MTN number. CL Foundation for Health and Support. Help us with the diabetes equipment, glucometers, wheelchairs, old clothing, new clothing, financial support, and let's give it to the needy. Thank you for your support. Yare yo, yare yes. Obi benya wana fi yare. Yamfa yare nso nya nipa. Sichire yare ni no. Sickness can determine the last straw of your life. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and loved ones, supporters of our foundation, the CL Foundation for Health, Diabetes and Asthma and Cerebral Palsy, we are knocking at your doors, knocking at your pocket, knocking at your emotions. Support me and my team to support people living with diabetes, asthma and cerebral palsy. Your donations are welcome on 862-215-2007. Your Zelle 862-215-2007. MTN Ghana numbers 055 000 5077 055 000 5077. It is the MTN number. CL Foundation for Health and Support. Help us with the diabetes equipment, glucometers, wheelchairs, old clothing, new clothing, financial support, and let's give it to the needy. Thank you for your support. Yare yo, yare yes. Obi benya wana fi yare. Yamfa yare nso nya nipa. Sichire yare ni no. Sickness can determine the last straw of your life. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and loved ones, supporters of our foundation, the CL Foundation for Health, Diabetes and Asthma and Cerebral Palsy, we are knocking at your doors, knocking at your pocket, knocking at your emotions. Support me and my team to support people living with diabetes, asthma and cerebral palsy. Your donations are welcome on 862-215-2007. Your Zelle 862-215-2007. MTN Ghana numbers 055 000 5077 055 000 5077. It is the MTN number. CL Foundation for Health and Support. Help us with the diabetes equipment, glucometers, wheelchairs, old clothing, new clothing, financial support, and let's give it to the needy. Thank you for your support. Yare yo yare yase obi benya wona fi yare yamfa yare nso nya nipa sichire yare ni no sickness can determine the last straw of your life. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and loved ones, supporters of our foundation, the CL Foundation for Health, Diabetes and Asthma and Cerebral Palsy, we are knocking at your doors, knocking at your pocket, knocking at your emotions. Support me and my team to support people living with diabetes, asthma and cerebral palsy. Your donations are welcome on 862-215-2007. Your Zelle 862-215-2007. MTN Ghana numbers 055 000 5077 055 000 5077. It is the MTN number. CL Foundation for Health